Hello, and welcome yet again to another episode of Conscious Mind Tripping with me, your host, Audrey Newmont. And we are still in the process of reading the Mind Trip game, Play Your Way to Conscious Thinking. And I just am realizing I haven't put us on the slide just yet. We're getting towards the end of the book. And it is, let's see, I'm thinking we're somewhere. Be patient because it's farther along in the book and it's not allowing me to go down there. I'll do it this way. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick perusing through the book. While I'm doing this, I will tell you that tonight's topic is effective and constructive communication, and this is that thing. If you're in a relationship, which we all are, you've got relationships with your family, with your loved one, that partner in the front seat. You're in a relationship with yourself, with the kid in the back seat. We're going to get into that. And this is that thing that is really helpful in feeling better in a relationship. So let's get to the exact slide. And here we are. So thanks for being patient while we have a little rocky start. And let's read. Effective and constructive communication. We usually think that communication, talking with somebody, is primarily about having a conversation with another person or possibly an animal or thing. But the most important conversation that you'll ever have is with yourself. Remember, you are the most important thing. So what does it mean to talk with yourself? In this section, you'll learn more about your inner communication with yourself, how to communicate better with other people, how to have more of a win-win with relationships, understanding the passengers that we take on, and how to deal with them more constructively. So we'll start with the backseat driver. As you are having a chat with yourself, there are two that make up you: your conscious thinking adult and the inner child, whose unconscious beliefs you hold as true. Just as much as you used to be the child in the back seat of your influencer's car, your mom, your dad, those people, you still have that kid in the back seat of your car right now. That kid has a lot to say, and are you listening to their chatter? And you are listening to their chatter a good portion of each day. How do you know when they have something to say? Are you angry, worried, anxious, stressed? They're talking. Listen. That is the program. And as soon as you recognize it, you get to be in the process to change it to what the adult wants, what you want. When I was young, my little Audrey, I call her Audie, did not get to talk and share what was going on with an adult. So I kept things down and she didn't get a voice. I have learned in all these years to let her have a say in what is going on. I learn from her, and more importantly, I heal with her. I communicate and let her know who we are, what we have, and what great things we can do in the world. Are you listening to your little beastie in the back seat? It's next is all about the win-win. I would say that when someone shows up in my office with a problem that they are having with someone else, 95% of the time, it's about a lack of good communication. They will sit down and tell me how angry they are with so-and-so, and I'll ask them what they have said to this person. They look at me like I'm crazy and say they didn't say anything at all to the person that they're angry with. So I ask why, and they have said that if they say something, the other person will get mad at them. So the person in front of me, my client, holds the anger and we know how creative this is in life. Let's look at how you're not communicating to someone, how you're not communicating to someone unconsciously creates. So the person who did or said whatever doesn't get to know what their their behavior upset you. The other person doesn't have an opportunity to explain their actions or to apologize. They may feel as though something is wrong, but not know what to do about it. On the other hand, you who did not communicate is now the one who is angry, and you don't have a constructive way to let go of the anger. For both of you, this will not end well. So here is a mind trip for connection. Have you ever had a scenario like this one? Is there someone who you are angry with that you may want to talk to? What is your reason for not talking with them? Have you ever had a friend dump you out of the blue and you never knew why? Did you ever let someone go without talking with them about why you were letting them go? Think about all the beliefs that folks have with regard to communication. In their mind, the judgments and programming are running the show 24/7. It can sound like, I shouldn't have to tell them. They should know. I'm too busy. I don't have enough time to talk with them. I don't want them to get mad at me. I've already told them more than once. I just do not know what to say to them. It won't matter what I say. They'll just do it again. This list could go on and on. In my 40 plus years of working with people, I think I'm pretty close to having heard it all, truly. I've also been there, done that with my own lack of communication. Remember when I figured out that I could be angry? Well, it was a whole other thing to let the person know. That is why I developed this format that I'm about to get into with you. It makes it much easier to say what I want to say. So in the picture below, you'll see the constructive communication format. It's simple, to the point, and wildly effective. So when you're looking at it, it's very much like the fear into power tool. And so a lot of these tools are very similar. You're just using them in a different way. So the fear would be the challenge. And so when you're talking with somebody, you're literally just being very calm and you're just saying, this is what happened. You said, you did. Here's just the facts, ma'am. Here's what it is. It's the cards on the table. So you're sharing how you feel and how it affects the relationship. And the idea is we want to be able to forgive and let it go. And both people know this is a done deal and we're now going to be doing something different. So the solution, the intention line, then goes to the solution. The solution is you're offering them a new way to be with you. And you're saying, like, for instance, I'm not having it on here, I don't think, but I have said many times, for the future, can we do this? Or so you're letting them know, I want us to. Could we do this the next time? And if you see the picture there, there's a circle where it's you and a circle where it's me. And there's the Vesica Pisces in the middle. Where can we agree? What would be the win-win for both of us? So what's the mutual new intention? What actions can we take that will match the intention? So you're literally giving them a new diagram. This is something that we can do. And is this something that works for you? So the plan for the effective communication, you want to take a deep breath and choose calm so that you're thinking clearly. And you think about the challenge. What actually happened from your point of view? You recognize what feeling doesn't feel good. An example, many times it's anger. So you're creating a space for conversation. This may be verbal or in writing. So you start the conversation with what works and why the relationship has value. So you're letting them know at the very beginning of the conversation, I love you enough to tell you that this feels like, and that I want our relationship to be better. So can we do this? A lot of times you start, I love you. And then we follow the diagram above. So you place a lot more attention on the solution than you do on the challenge. And so mainly, what do you want for the future and what needs to be different? So it's like when you're starting out with this kind of format, you're just being very matter of fact. And then when you're going into the intention, and can we do this? You bring up your energy. Maybe you give a smile and you're doing something inviting and you're saying, hey, this I think can work for both of us. So this is all a process to do, and nothing changes overnight. And I made up that format because I'm telling you, the first time I had to talk with somebody, I had a bit of a panic attack about it. It was not good. But when you're talking to somebody and you're coming from, this is what happened, this is what you did or said, this is how I feel, you're telling them your actions, your words, it hurts my heart, basically. And I don't want us to be in this kind of mode. Can we do something new? And so then there's another kind of communication. It's unspoken communication, and I call it the silent definer. We do not usually think about it, but there is a lot of communication that has nothing to do with words. It's in the body language that we're presenting, or those subtle things that we don't even recognize that we're doing. We communicate to everyone in our lives consciously and unconsciously through body language, our spoken word, what we don't say, and what we do say. And we speak volumes in what we do for people, especially our children. Think about your own life as a child. Did your parents do your school projects? Did they talk for you? Push your coaches to put you in a different position, dress you longer than necessary, and so on? Do you do this for your children? This is to ponder and make necessary adjustments. So these are all things that you're literally looking at with no judgment. I mean, we all are being the best parents that we know how to be. And in any given moment, I mean, I've had to look at many things as a parent to my 3 daughters. And there's many, many times where I've had to realign myself because we're all just doing the best we can. And then when we learn something different, there we go, we realign. So here's tips for passengers. Sometimes in our relationships, we tend to focus on what the other person is doing. And remember, with our wonderful subconscious programming, much of the time the focus is not on what they're doing right. It's on what we think they're doing wrong. Stop that. Where attention goes, energy flows. If you want your relationship to be great, you have to focus on what they are doing that is right. Remember how energetically powerful gratitude is? Slather them with appreciation. When you are communicating your intention with them, it gives them a blueprint on what you both can do for the win-win with the relationship. A big part of communication is listening, paying attention to what they have to say. One of the things I have my clients put on their list for a great future partner is that they are interesting and interested. Be both. It's all right to share what your challenges are, just not all the time. Keep the conversation in balance. That's a big one. I'm going to read it again. It's all right to share what your challenges are, just not all the time. Keep the conversation in balance. When you want to be supportive, ask why, when, what, where, how. Sometimes great communication is about asking and listening. When you're asking those questions, you're getting the other person into their critical thinking. You're helping them to sort through whatever that is in their own mind. And when you're listening and asking those questions, you're offering a space for them to figure it out. Be authentic, be honest. Lies never seem to have the outcome that we think they will have when we tell them. Say things like you would like to have heard them. Great communication does not usually happen overnight. Whether you are talking to yourself or someone else, it's an all day, everyday process of paying attention to your feelings, thoughts, and words. Use your feelings to guide you. Use your thoughts to understand and your words to own your power in a constructive manner. So, these are all things to ponder. And I want you to take a minute and go on a little mind trip before I'm going to get into the victimization loop next video. So, take some time and look at who maybe you don't want to be communicating with. Why? What will you gain in communicating with them? And so you want to ponder all those questions that I just asked and take the time to journal it. It's a really important thing. And I just want to say, as I'm here at this, getting close to the end of here, I'm going to be making videos where I'm talking more specifically and in much more detail about all of these tools. This book was designed to kind of give a brief format, and it's intended for you to literally ponder these things. So we're going to, in future Conscious Mind Tripping podcasts, we're going to explore much deeper into these things. But for now, ask yourself these valuable questions. Be brave and communicate with people that might be challenging for you. I'm not kidding. That first time I had to communicate with somebody, I literally had a panic attack. It was not pretty. And over all these years, now I've reached a point where I can talk with just about anybody. And I really, in those moments where it's a challenging conversation, I really will ponder it well and look at what I'm looking for the relationship and what it is that I can say that will make it a win-win. So more to come, and I look forward to seeing you at the victimization loop. Thanks so much for watching and for sharing with your friends. Have a good one.